Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for the week of February 12th. And I must have bumped my camera because I can see my head is like down here, but whatever. We're just gonna ignore it for now. But you start off with this turtle and this starfish. I feel like you are moving in a direction. The starfish kind of represents an infinite amount of directions because it has 5 arms, so it can go in many different directions. And, I feel like that's what the starfish is saying. It's like, I almost feel like the starfish is saying to you that you need to be flexible at this time, or, just realize that things can move in other directions. You also have the turtle. The turtle wears its home on its back, and it kind of represents protection as well. I've been getting moving for you, Aries, in particular, for a very long period of time. So I'm not sure if you're planning on moving or like if you have been thinking about moving for a long time. It comes up in every single reading, literally, for you. So it's almost as if like you've been thinking about moving for a long ass time. And that is a scientific term, long ass. So, what I would say here is that like more planning. How crazy is this? You have this Treasure Island card with the turtle on it, and there's a starfish right here. By the way, I'll show you in a minute, but this is like the as above, so below card. I do see you like maybe moving. You have the world as well, and it's almost like home is where the heart is, or whatever you want to call it. It's like it doesn't really matter like where you go. I feel like you will be able to find your home, but there's something here about like maybe moving and manifesting as well as what I'm getting. So, if you're like moving somewhere, you could be moving somewhere where you move there and you are able to manifest better, or, you're moving somewhere where there is better opportunity in your life. And that's kind of like the feeling I get here. So for those of you that are thinking about moving, then I feel there's better opportunity. If you are thinking about making a move, like maybe you're thinking about just changing your jobs, which could also be a move, but you're not like literally moving, you're figuratively moving, or if you decide that you want to go to a new store or whatever, it's like there's something here in this reading about increasing your opportunities or getting more opportunities because you're making a move, and I definitely see that here. Also, if you are worried about having the resources necessary to move, maybe you're like, I want to move, but I don't know how I'm going to make enough money to move or whatever, it looks to me like you are going to make the money to move, plain and simple. You have the Death card, so there is some sort of change coming into your life here. We kind of know that already, and I feel like saying a new day is dawning. On the Death card, the sun is coming up between the 2 pillars that are on the moon right here, and sometimes I just feel that the sun just represents like a new day dawning, just says that there's new things coming into your life. It's just regular transformations, and sometimes I don't think the Death card is that big of a deal. The Death card actually is like an insane amount of imagery out of all the cards in the tarot, but for you in this reading, I feel there's just something about something new. You have the Magician, something you attracted, but I also feel that again, you moving will actually change things in your life. I always tell people this story. Like years ago, I moved to Seattle. I don't live there anymore, but when I used to live there, it's like when I moved there, I grew up in Connecticut, like the most boring state in the world, and when I moved there, I thought things would be different. Like I thought like, it was when I first moved away from home, and I moved 3,000 miles away, as far as I possibly could get, right? And I thought things would feel different, but I never actually felt like I moved. I never felt anything was different. It's kind of hard to explain, but sometimes I feel like we make a change and really nothing changes because like we didn't change, and that's the situation I was in. Like I didn't change when I first, over time I did, but at first I didn't, right? And so nothing really changed. But I feel that if you are moving, you will actually feel it. So, this is one of those, I would say that this is very different because it seems to me like if you are making a move or moving, you're actually going to notice the difference. And, maybe you're attracting things faster into your life, it looks like to me. Let's see. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have 2 cards. You have the Judgment card and the King of Wands. You do have the King of Wands twice in this reading. So you could be waking up to your true power here, Aries. The King of Wands I read as you, so you're coming up in a very strong position. Whenever you show up as yourself, and you're showing up as yourself twice here, kind of puts you in a position of power and strength. The Judgment card is about like waking up to your purpose or waking up to something that you're meant to do. And again, I do think that a lot of you are focused on work or like what you could be working on, and you're wanting to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. With the Death card, you have the 5 Wands. I do feel like some of you are not conflicted anymore. Like, again, if you've been going back and forth, like, where do I move or what changes should I make in my life? It seems to me like you're moving past that. With the Magician here, you have the Hierophant. I thought I saw something else, but, a lot of you could just be thinking about love, number one. You have the Lovers showing up in the next row, which I'll show you in a second. And, again, you could obviously be thinking about, getting into a relationship. It's kind of weird. I see this as being prepared for a relationship. It's almost as if the universe has been getting you ready to be in a relationship or something. But like 2 people. I always say that there are 2 people here on this card. They're initiates. And it's like they're like you and someone else it's like you've been being initiated in the background. So again, if you want love, I feel like there could be a person that is like right for you. Next, you have this Lovers card and you have this Occupation card here. So for some of you, you could be meeting a person through work or at work, or they could do the same thing that you do as well as what I'm getting. So, again, if you have a job or even if you have like a business, you could be, I don't know, it popped into my head that you could be like meeting a person somewhere that's like business related or, at some sort of business event or something like that. So I would definitely encourage you to go to any events you're thinking about going to, especially if you're looking for love. But, I also feel that work is heavily on your mind here in this reading. I feel that you are focused on work. I feel that you are focused on the quality of the work that you do as well. You have the 3 of Pentacles. You're trying to stand out is what the 3 of Pentacles is saying to me. I personally believe that standing out with the 3 of Pentacles is a positive thing. You can stand out in a very positive way because you are doing things to a high degree of accuracy. And we're going to talk about that in a second. You have the Justice card, the 4 Cups, and the Temperance card. You always get Libra with me. Libra always shows up in your readings. You always show up in Libra's readings. Every single time I say it, y'all leave comments saying you hate Libra. They leave comments saying that they hate Aries. So is this like a playground thing where you pick on each other? You pick on a Libra, they pick on you, but you actually love each other. It seems to me like you're both obsessed with each other, but you leave comments on my video saying you hate each other. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on here with you and Libra, but there you go. I also feel that you're trying to create financial balance. The weird thing that's popping into my head here is that I feel you're playing it too small. Like if you're trying to make money, Aries, I feel the universe is saying that you need to go bigger. Like the reason you're not making as much as you want is because the universe is saying like, no, I want you to make more, or I want you to shoot for the stars here. So I would shoot for the stars. You have the Starfish card. You have the 4 Cups. I do feel like love has been a disappointment for a very long period of time. It's almost like you're trying something new. Some of you could be trying a new type of person, or you could be giving a type of person that you normally wouldn't give a chance. A chance is kind of like the vibe I get here. And because of that, you are finding like the love of your life or something if you want love. So it looks pretty good as far as love is concerned, because again, I really feel that you could be meeting a person that you wouldn't normally date, but you're saying to yourself, whatever, I'll just give this person a chance or whatever, and it ends up being like the love of your life. Isn't that always the way, right? But I feel they are probably different than usual type. Since like 2020, 2020 or 2021 was the only year that I did love readings. I did 1 set of love readings, right? And in those readings, everybody got the 2 of Cups. And I was saying, clearly we're entering into a time where we are going to be attracted to people who are different than our usual type. So, it could be someone who's a little bit more different or unusual or whatever. You have the Temperance card. You've been very patient. I feel like saying don't give up on this card as well is popping into my head. That's not what this card means, but, I read intuitively, and that's what I'm getting here, is that there's something about something that you've been trying to perfect. You've been trying to make something better, or, maybe you've been trying to improve your business or your career. And I really feel this is saying, well, number one, don't stop. Keep going. You just haven't figured it out yet. And you'll get there eventually, and you just need to keep pushing. You just need to literally not give up. Like, I literally tell people all the time, like, I think, people try to be nice, and they're like, no, you're actually smart to me, right? And I'm like, no, you don't realize. I fell on my head when I was 10 years old. I am not as smart as you might think I am, right? And I have to do things 100 freaking times. So it's like I'm living proof that just not giving up and just keep one foot in front of the other is like the thing that you need to do, right? It's sometimes, right? And I hope you don't have to try things as many times as I do. But what I would say is, that Temperance card, I'm really just getting this energy of needing to keep pushing forward on something. And I've proven it to myself so many times. Trust me, I'm not bragging here. I'm just saying, you just need to keep trying at whatever it is you're trying to do here. With the Justice card, you have the Hangman. Hangman is about putting yourself in hangman mode. I do feel you've made a lot of sacrifices over the years. The hangman has sacrificed the use of his arms and his legs so that he can gain enlightenment. And I feel like you've made a lot of sacrifices, but it's like now those things are starting to pay off. With the Four of Cups, you have the Knight of Swords. I do feel like this is going to move forward very quickly. I actually feel like it's going to work. Normally, I don't like the Knight of Swords. He's a little too handsy. He's a little bit too much like, trying to get into things too quick. But I don't know. I feel like this could be you and another person, and it looks to me like it works. So, if it works, it works. It could be an Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, or Leo, so it could be a fixed sign coming in for you. Could be any sign. General reading. It could be a Scorpio for sure. With the Temperance card, you have the Death card. So you're changing the way that you work on things or transforming the way that you work on things, which is exactly what you need to do here. I really get this feeling on the Temperance card of needing to not give up, needing to just keep trying things. Like I've proven it to myself so many times. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I always doubt myself every single time. Like I'll always doubt myself that I'm going to get something to work or that I will be able to get something to work. But, like several times in my life that I've been working on things where I have to do things like 50 times. Again, I always tell people, I fell on my head, like people think I'm joking. No, I'm dead serious. I was dyslexic as well, still am, right? I can't spell. I have terrible grammar. And I have to read books like 10 times to get it to sink in. But it's like, what that has taught me personally is there are so many things that I've worked on where it's like the first 50 times nothing works. But if I just keep pushing, eventually I get things to fall into place, or eventually I figure out what's been missing. Usually, the problem with me is that I always skip over things. I miss little tiny things. I think people don't even realize, I put stuff out that I've typed up, right? And it's people will come back and look at the mistakes that I made. It's my brain doesn't even see it. I literally don't even see the mistakes. I could read something over, try to correct it a million times. I'll still miss it, right? Because I'm a dummy. But, what I would say here is that, again, if this has taught me anything, it's that, just being determined will get you to where you need to go. And again, the reason I'm telling you this is because I feel like you need to hear this, Aries, that literally you're not crazy. Sometimes when I'm working on things, I'm like, am I just wasting my time? Am I just not smart enough to do this or whatever? But I always get to the finish line. And I feel like this reading is saying, if you don't give up, you will get to the finish line. Next, in the area of what's coming towards you, you have this card that says, see the good in what you call bad. Nothing in your suffering is meaningless. There you go. You have a social media card. It says, make money in social media. It will be very lucrative. Grow your social presence and build a reputation for knowledge. So there you go. Definitely a good time to share any information or things that you're learning. We literally see that here. You have the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles is a card of teamwork and working on a team. So anything you can do to benefit other people would be a good idea, like sharing information, sharing knowledge. If you want to start a social media, or if you've been thinking about it, great time to do it. Clearly, if you've already been doing it, great. Looks really good. Even if you don't want to do it, this could just be you working with other people. I think the big picture here is focusing on quality. So anything that you do, anything that you work on, just focus on the quality and how making sure that you do a good job. I wouldn't focus on quantity with the Three of Pentacles. You have the King of Cups here. I kind of feel like this could be a person that you're attracting. Doesn't have to be a water sign. I feel that this person just has deep emotions. I look at tarot as a spectrum. That's why I don't read reversals. I read energy. And what I would say here is that on the positive side of things with the King of Cups, he really, I would say that he has very deep emotions, but sometimes he doesn't come off as having emotions. Sometimes he comes off as having no emotions, but he has such control over his emotions that he seems like he doesn't have emotions, but he just actually knows how to express his emotions in a positive way. You have the World here, so definitely moving for some of you. This is also a card of accomplishment. So again, if you've been working on something with the Three of Pentacles, if you've been working on something that's a project, an achievement, a business, this to me looks like you getting a lot of attention from the people of the world, right? So let's see. With the Three of Pentacles, you have the Tower. It did come up in reverse, but I actually don't like the Tower in reverse at all. To me, the Tower in the reverse, it represents avoiding a Tower moment. But if we have learned something to avoid the Tower moment, great. But if we're just avoiding a Tower moment, not great, because you're just delaying the inevitable. But what I would say here is that you do have the Tower. I think that what this Tower is the change that's happening. I think that for certain signs, you being one of them, Aries, if you are changing your quote-unquote identity, people like to put us in boxes. And, people like to say oh, you're, this, that, the other thing. When you change that box, which we actually see right here with the Hierophant and the Magician, then, the Hierophant is about needing to think outside the box. The Magician is a card of reinvention. So it looks to me like you're causing a tower moment for people in your life, like you're making a change, and people just don't understand it. The tower can also represent a move. With the King of Cups, you have the Page of Cups, definitely love. I feel like you have your eye on a person here because you show up right here. So I feel it, and he is looking up to this guy here. I kind of feel like you're attracted to someone who is in hermit mode, or someone who's hard to reach is what I'm getting here, or someone who feels out of reach. The Hermit is standing above you right here, and he's standing at the top of a mountain. But really, he's a hermit. Why is that standing out to me here, Aries? I don't know. It's like, it's standing out to me that you are like attracted to a person. Maybe you see them as a star, but they're actually a hermit, is kind of what I'm getting here. The reason I say that is because, he has the star in his lantern, but the star is kind of like in that lantern. He's not blasting it out all over the place, and he's alone at the top of a mountain. So I don't know. That might make sense to some of you. Some of you could be attracting a person where you think they get a lot of attention. Maybe they do, but maybe they're also a hermit or something. I don't know. With the World, you have the Five of Pentacles. This is it. Scorpio gets this all the time. It could be a Scorpio, or it could be a water sign for some of you, surprisingly. But what I would say here is that Scorpio gets this all the time. Now you get it. And the Five of Pentacles, these two are left out in the cold. But it's almost like you are attracting a person who has also been left out in the cold. So, if you were left out in the cold, and, it's like you're attracting someone with a similar story. And so I do, and remember what we were saying is that this is a person where you're on the same path, you're on the same journey, or you're both being elevated in some way. So, again, I kind of feel like you could be attracting a person who's had a very similar story to you. In the last row here for the good stuff, you have this Yang Energy card and this Treasure Island card. The Yang Energy card is like the Ace of Wands, so it can represent a passionate new beginning, can represent out with the old, in with the new. And this Treasure Island card is as above, so below. So it seems to me like you are attracting some very good things into your life here. I find it interesting that you have 1 and 9. 1 is a new beginning. The Tibetan Buddhists consider the number 9 to be the end. They consider it to, the next number to be 1 and 10, right? Starting over. So, it's kind of interesting that popped into my head. It's almost like there is a new beginning coming in for you. I feel it's a very passionate new beginning, or you're about to feel more passionate. You have the Five of Cups. Again, I feel do not give up. We see this in the same row here as the Temperance card, where I was getting that energy. I feel like you just haven't figured it out yet. I said that earlier. That's really what I'm getting here. If he turns around, he sees these 2 cups, this bridge, and this castle. I really feel the only answer for you, especially in work or business, is to keep pushing. Like, there's something about that here. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I feel like there's something about you needing to keep pushing. I would also say there's something about reinventing yourself. If you've been working on a project or doing things a certain way for 20 years, maybe you're updating your skills or doing things differently, and I feel that could be very beneficial for you here. You have the Hermit. I really feel like you're attracting a hermit, is what I would say. This is a good person, though. It's not like they're not like a loser or like sitting in their mama's basement or something like that. I think that this is genuinely a person who has better things to do. It's like they're not partying it up at the club every night because they're like literally working on things in their life, or, they're building something great, or, something like that. Like, I get that type of feeling off of the Hermit. Could be someone who has Earth or Virgo. You have the King of Wands, which I feel is you. You're just showing up in a strong position. Again, this puts you in a position of power and strength, allows you to get what you want from the reading. Let's see. With the Five of Cups, you have the Nine of Cups here. I thought I saw something else as well. I'm seeing things today, apparently. So you have the Nine of Cups. That's interesting. Like, I feel like you could be seeing things before they happen as well. So again, maybe you're seeing things in your head, not like in a crazy way, but just, in general. You could be saying to yourself, oh, having deja vu, or those types of moments. And I feel like those moments are leading you to something. With the Hermit, yes, you have the Temperance card. Worth the wait is what I'm hearing here. I feel if you're meeting a person, I feel this was well worth the wait. And with the King of Wands, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, big opportunity coming in for you. Interesting because almost every single person this week has had the Ace of Pentacles, so it could be like some sort of collective energy. The reason I always tell people about this stuff is because, when I notice it in the collective energy, clearly it's something you want to pay attention to. So like opportunities. So this week could be about big opportunities for everyone, but I would be looking for big opportunities so that you can grab onto them. You have this fan card. It says Romance Celebration Party. There you go. I feel like the two of you are going to be big fans of each other as well. So there you go. You have this ant card that says work, achievement, success. We see a lot of stuff about teamwork. Ants work on a team. They work together. Three of Pentacles as well. So anything you can do to work together with other people or another person is going to lead to success. You have this pineapple card that says reconciliation on it. This doesn't necessarily mean a person from the past. It's more like the universe is reconciling with you, as in maybe there's energy that's owed to you, or maybe you've put a lot of work into things and now you're getting a result. And that's kind of like what I feel here. So there you go. You have the staff card. It says you will be taken care of in difficult times. This card comes up a lot as well, which is very interesting because I think we're entering into a time that is going to be a very rocky road. Like we're entering into a time of chaos. I always tell people, I think over the next 10 years, we're going to see a lot of people who look back on this 10 years, like from, 10 years from now, looking back, basically we'll say 2033. I think a lot of people are going to be like, wow, all I did was worry about things instead of like doing what I could do and working on projects or, making the world a better place in my own little way or, whatever it is. And so, that's what I would say here is that, I feel like there are things that we can do to make the world better. And I would make sure to work on the things that you can improve, right? Or work on something so that you don't end up one of those people. Because again, I think that what we're going to see is a lot of people worrying and then nothing happens 10 years from now. Like things end up being fine. And people are like, wow, I spent all that time worrying and I didn't do something. You have this desk card. It says, pay attention to your work. I think you are paying attention to your work, though. It looks to me like you are getting better results or you're about to reinvent yourself in work or business, and I feel that's going to be a good thing. So, I would say worth the wait here, Aries. Looks really good. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.